today I'm going to introduce you to some simple Japanese phrases that would be useful to use at restaurants here in Japan. Hey guys, I'm Shinichi.
I'm Satoshi.
We are a food and travel channel based here in Tokyo, Japan. We show you everything that Japan has to offer, especially the food, but we also travel around the world to learn about their cultures and cuisines. In fact, we just came back from a European trip a couple of months ago, and we quickly learned that knowing a few phrases in the local language can really help elevate your experience and just make your travels a lot more easier and more enjoyable. Today I'm going to introduce you to some simple Japanese phrases that would be useful to use at restaurants here in Japan. Now we use the term restaurant for all eating establishments here in Japan, but just like in other countries, we have the sushi shop, we have the ramen shop, we have izakayas, and of course we have restaurants. In those cases, the menu may be categorized or most likely categorized a little differently from what we show you today. However, it's so much to cover. So if this is something you'd like us to cover in a future video, let us know in the comments. Entering the restaurant. Welcome.
いらっしゃいませ。
So as soon as you enter a restaurant, pretty much any eating establishment here, the staff or the owner will welcome you by saying
いらっしゃいませ。
Immediately after, they will ask you how many in your party.
何名ですか? or 何名様ですか?
When you add the sama, it just makes it more polite. So just remember that. Now we're going to assume that you have a maximum of 6 people in your party. We do suggest that you have more than 6. Maybe make a reservation before going because there are many places that are small and they may not be able to accommodate you on one table with more than 6 people. Well, we're going to tell you how to say how many people are in your party from 1 to 10. One person.
一人です。
Now this is or am, so I am one person. 2 persons.
二人です。
3 persons.
三人です。
4 persons.
四人です。
5 persons.
五人です。
6 persons.
六人です。
7 persons.
七人です。or 七人です。
8 persons.
八人です。
9 persons.
九人です。
And a gigantic 10 persons.
十人です。One is 1, 2 is 2, but saying the number of people, 1 is 一人, 2 is 二人. It's a little different from the regular counting.
Yes. Also, very popular restaurants sometimes may ask you if you have your reservations. They will ask you,
予約はありますか?
and in the case that you do have a reservation, you will say,
はい、あります。
and then say your name. Or if you don't have a reservation, you would say,
いいえ、ありません。
ordering. You guys are lucky. This is super easy. Menu in Japanese is simply
メニュー。
yeah, it's the exact same thing. But in many Japanese restaurants serving Japanese food, traditional Japanese foods, the menu is sometimes called
お品書き。
However, you don't have to know that. You don't have to know the word oshinagaki. Even though it's the menu on the cover says oshinagaki in Japanese, if the menu is not available, you would simply ask for the menu. However, don't worry about this because most Japanese restaurants will already have the menu on the table or they will bring it to you immediately when you sit down. So I don't think this is something you have to worry about.
Sometimes menu is on the wall.
That's true, which makes it more difficult because usually it's written in Japanese. So I think that one we would have to save for another video. One instance you might want to ask for the menu is say you've ordered and they take away the menu, but you want to order something else during the meal, then of course you would want to ask for the menu. In this case, you would say,
メニューをお願いします。
okay, so you sat down, they've given you the menu. The first thing they would usually ask you is if you would like something to drink.
お飲み物はいかがですか?
And then the way to answer that is, I would like to have blank. So for example, I would like to have beer.
ビールをください。
Right, so just add the beer or the chuhai or the Coca-Cola in the blank and say
をください。
So while they're getting your drinks, this is a time to decide what you're going to have for the meal. Once they serve your drinks, they're most likely going to ask you if you're ready to order.
ご注文を伺います。or お決まりですか? Sometimes if you need call wait staff, please say お願いします or すみません.
Right, and then they will come to your table to take your order. So it's time to order. Just like ordering the beer, you would say, I would like to have blank. So for example, if you want to order omuraisu, I would like to have omuraisu, you would say,
オムライスをください。
I would like to have katsudon.
カツ丼をください。
I would like to have tempura teishoku.
天ぷら定食をください。
I would like to have a spoon.
スプーンをください。
I would like to have some water.
お水をください。
Although most restaurants here in Japan will serve you water automatically when you sit down. So if I ordered a tempura teishoku, they would supply me with a pair of chopsticks, but I know that many people cannot use chopsticks. So in this case, you might want to ask for a fork.
フォークはありますか?
So usually you will find the condiments on the table, like your soy sauce, you'll find salt and pepper, not at all restaurants. And some restaurants, because of the pandemic, they no longer keep it on the table and it's on a request basis. So in this case, you might want some pepper, you would ask,
胡椒はありますか?
or some salt,
塩はありますか?
right? And I think most of the time, you will have soy sauce on the table, so I don't think you'll be asking for soy sauce. I've never asked for soy sauce at a restaurant, like never. Something important to remember, modifications are not normal here in Japan, so I would say forget about that. Make sure to do your research before actually going to the establishment. Also, vegan or vegetarian options are not normal as well, unless they specifically cater to foreigners. Then they usually have some vegan options. Same thing goes with halal. So once again, in this case, please do your research online before going to that particular restaurant. The menu: drinks,
飲み物 or お飲み物
appetizers,
前菜
main dishes,
メイン
desserts.
デザート
And in some traditional Japanese restaurants, the dessert would be called.
甘味
Now, once again, we're talking about general terms here. I gotta say, a lot of restaurants don't necessarily categorize dishes in this way. Drinks, appetizers. I mean, drinks we do have, it's categorized into drinks, but like appetizers, main dishes, Japanese restaurants don't necessarily categorize dishes in that way, so that's something to keep in mind. Also here in Japan, set menus or teishokus or courses are pretty common in Japanese restaurants. I think most Japanese prefer to eat that way. However, you do find a la carte menu. In this case, they would usually be categorized in this way. Raw fish or sashimi would be,
お作り or 刺身
yes, so you will find all your raw fish or raw seafood in this category. Soups,
お吸い物
so this is where you find miso soup or clear soups, etc. Salads,
サラダ
grilled dishes.
焼き物
So this is where you will find your grilled salmon, grilled saba, grilled meat, or even yakitori sometimes. Fried dishes.
揚げ物
So this is where you'll find deep fried dishes like tonkatsu, korokke, and so forth. And finally, rice dishes.
食事 or ご飯物
Yeah, this is where you'll find your onigiri rice ball, yaki onigiri, ochazuke, which is rice topped with maybe salmon, and there's hot tea or dashi poured over it. This is to finish a meal. Sometimes in the oshokuji category, you'll also find noodles sometimes, like yakisoba or ramen. In typical Japanese restaurants, traditional Japanese restaurants, many times you would have the rice or the noodles at the end of your meal, but not always. You might find some other ways the menu is categorized. Sometimes you will find the fish in a separate section. So fish in Japanese is
魚
tofu,
豆腐
meats,
肉
right? So the meats would include chicken, beef, etc. And we've written everything down in the Japanese characters here below the screen. So just take the screenshot, remember that, or take it with you, and that should really be helpful. We have many typical Japanese dishes, and we cannot cover it on this video because it's a very long list. But once again, if this is something you would be interested in us covering in the future video, let us know in the comments. Finally, how to pay. Most of the time, the check will be placed on the table as soon as all your dishes arrive. And if you want to reorder something or order something, you know, additional, they will just keep adding to your bill, and then you take your bill to the cashier and pay. But sometimes you do have to ask for your bill. In that case, you would ask,
お会計をお願いします。Especially, it's in izakaya. You have to say, お会計をお願いします。
You do, right. Because izakaya, a lot of times, you know, you would start off small and you just keep ordering until, you know, you don't want to eat or drink anymore, which is why they usually don't give you the bill right away. Of course, you can pay the bill together or separately. It's really up to you. Going Dutch here in Japan is pretty normal. So if you want to pay separately, you would say
別々でお願いします。
However, if you want to pay for the entire bill, you would say
一緒でお願いします。
easy peasy.
別々 or 一緒
Right.
別々 is separate. 一緒
means
together.
One great thing I want to point out about eating in Japan is there is no tipping whatsoever. It is not required, it is not necessary, and it is not accepted. So
It is not accepted.
It's
If
not
you put
accepted.
some money on your table,
they're gonna chase after you. They're gonna chase after you. You forgot your 100 yen on the table. Yes, they will literally come after you to, you know, because they would think you forgot your 100 yen coin on the table. So no tipping whatsoever. Finally, when you leave the restaurant, most Japanese people say
ごちそうさまでした。
"Gochisou-sama deshita," which means thank you for the food. You can also say thank you, which is
ありがとうございました。
However, most Japanese people would say ごちそうさまでした. Thank you for the food, and this makes everybody in the restaurant feel really good. Anywhere in Japan, including the restaurant, you always want to have good manners, or you want to be pleasant, so you want to say thank you, ありがとうございます. You want to say please, which is お願いします. Say if you ask for more water, you say お願いします and you say ありがとうございます. You can also say the food was delicious. In this case, you would say
おいしかったです。
はい、おいしかったです. It was delicious. Or if you're in the middle of eating and they ask you how it is, you would say
おいしいです。
おいしいです. So it's delicious, おいしいです. It was delicious, おいしかったです. So we wanted to keep this video as simple as possible. We didn't want to make you feel like you had to learn 100 words before feeling comfortable enough to come to Japan. You really don't need to. If we've missed something that you think we should have added to this video, let us know in the comments down below. Also, let us know what other types of videos you'd like to see in the future. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and finally subscribe for more videos like this one.
Thank you for watching. See you on next video. Bye bye.
Bye guys!